As I sit in the house tonight and I start to think about some of the events that is transpired and is transpired right before our very eyes on a daily basis, and I need for you to stop what you're doing and really truly listen to me very closely. We've already had what you will call our civil liberties literally swept right out from under our feet. Eroded, totally gone. So therefore, the only freedom and liberty is left is the freedom and liberty that you yourself can preserve. We know about the French War. We know about the Civil War. And since I've been alive, we have been at war over 60% of my life. The United States of America. And it's coming down to, as you see the events shape, the way that those who have chosen to be on the side of the government, the people, they're forced with no other choice but civil disobedience. You have to actually ask yourself, who is the one that's in charge of civility? I mean, who is the one that actually makes the rules? Because history has showed that the majority of humans always take the side of the beast or the government system. There's only a few patriots that are really truly left, but history also plays, and it also shows that it seems like that the few has always won. Well, in this case, here in America, you've got what, 360 million people, and I know that when you know the government has used religion as a tool to manipulate, coerce, and train the minds of the people who attend these churches. They've done a very good job at shaping your minds. It is amazing how, when you look and see that the Israelites in the Bible, they were warriors, literal warriors. And then all of a sudden comes this religion that is not even spoken of in the book called Christianity, that has actually shaped our minds and told us the way that things ought to be, contrary to the way the book says. But, you know, people are going to have no choice. Here in this country, we're going to see war on our own land. And while most people is waiting for an entity or another type of invading force to come to this land, I think that most people have missed out in discernment who the real true enemy really truly is. You know, the way that this thing is supposed to work, and I need for you to listen to me real closely, it's supposed to work like this. A man is in charge of his own home, and he is the highest authority in his home. Outside of the confines of his own land, which is his, where his freedom and liberty, he's a total sovereign. At least that's the way it's supposed to be. Next come the local and county authorities. And as we continue to go up this ladder, the power structure and the authority of the power structure is supposed to diminish. We're watching an increase coming from the other way. We're watching government get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And what we're watching, the authority of the man of his house get smaller, 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 and smaller and smaller. No wonder we have a decline of society. And then by the time you get up to the state and then the federal level, power of influence upon a man's life is supposed to be about that much. Well, now we live in a time where the government has all this influence and control all the way across the board. And as it gets down to the family structure where they have all but stripped the man of his manhood, and then they have taught women how to strip a man of his manhood and diminish his character. No wonder the home is suffering, and there's very few men that are actually raising men today. We've gone way backwards. We really, really, truly have. I think the greatest enemy that all Americans are going to face is their own government on their own land. They're already at war with the people. Watch the laws that are passed. Look at what they're doing. Look at all of these so-called safety measures against terrorism. They're not protecting us one bit. We don't have any. No, I know what they tell you people, but they're not protecting you one bit. We're not under threat of anybody trying to hate us because of our way of life over here. Who would want to despise the American way of life where the people have little, if any, voice whatsoever at all? I mean, you look at your representatives. Let's just take, for instance, your state congressman, your House and Senate, and then the ones that goes all the way up to the outhouse. Have you ever tried to get in touch with your representative? I mean, have you ever tried? Have you ever tried to set an appointment to get in touch with? Have you ever even tried talking? Have you ever even tried to talk even with your local sheriff? Have you ever tried? You see, they're letting you know that this power structure that is set up today, they don't care one bit about your redress or grievance or anything that you may have. They could care less. And these people, so-called elected officials, they come and squabble in front of the people with their fake, phony circus smiles, as if they have your best interest in mind. And once they get in office, they could care less about it, and you don't see nothing or hear nothing from them ever again until it come time for election again. Then they come licking and squabbling at your boots, hoping that you would trust in these liars, these professional liars. You know a politician is lying when their mouth is moving. What we need is a 100% total reset. That's what we need. All the way clear across the board. We need the whole entire structure changed. Every bit. Not one person should remain in any type of civil authority position all the way across the board in the United States of America. It needs to be a total clean sweep. Because these people have already done sold out their souls to these wicked people who are the movers and shakers of money. It's amazing, isn't it? They somehow, some way over the years have duped and deceived the whole entire earth to accept this as money. I mean, paper, something you can start a fire, you ball it up, start a fire. They got the whole world believing that that's money. And that gold and silver is some type of relic. Man, do we deserve exactly what we get. And I'm telling you, whether you like it or not, is what, hey, they have got the ability to print insurmountable riches. I mean, just never ending. As long as they have a printing press, and the whole world is under this scheme. Because we have left sound money. And the people that have gone on before us was just as naive, dumb, stupid, and ignorant as well. And they allowed these jackals to come in. And nobody did nothing way back then. See, something should have been done way back then. But they, hey, these successive generations, the ones that come before us and the ones come after, hey, they don't care one bit about the ones that's going to come after them. They're only caring about their hide right now. They'll say, let them worry about it later. We're all going to die. Hey, it's a sad situation. But I think the greatest war that Americans are going to face is right here on our own land. Because the one thing I've learned about this beast system, the one thing I learned about this government, it hates people who think, free thinkers, can think for themselves. That's the reason why they fluorinate the water, because they want to take all the fight and testosterone out of men. That's the reason why when war veterans come back, the first thing you do is criminalize them and make sure that you can't never obtain a gun far as to carry one on your own person. And that's why I say your alternative is just learn how to live simple. You know, you think about it, the Amish and the Mennonites, they really truly live free. And you know the reason why they live free? Is because they do not have to have all these modern day conveniences to be a slave to and to be snared by. They don't have to have it. They do not have to have none of these modern day conveniences, and they have been living for centuries that way. And they are not influenced by laws because they don't have a social security number. They're not influenced by insurances or taxes or rates going up in electricity and stuff. Now, in America, you see, we think that it's our right to own this stuff. It's our right. It's a privilege. And because we've grown accustomed to being so pampered in our lifestyle, we can't even fathom going back to that. And so therefore the system has a hook in our jaws, snared, because we really truly don't know how to live free. Well, whether we like it or not, we're going to be forced back into simple living. And I hope that you got step 1 and 2 already implemented and have been having in your mind doing it for quite some time. Because when it comes time for step 3, if you haven't done step 1 and 2, you can forget about step 3. It ain't even in your heart. Sad reality is, and many of you are going to find out, that your preachers, your teachers, they all have lied to you. They have all tried to make you think that this thing is going to get better. And no matter how much decline we see every single day, it's not getting better, it's getting worse. And it's going to continue to keep getting worse. You know what? Learn how to protect and preserve yourself all the way to your last dying breath.